I'll give you an extra 100 if you can bruise it.
If you just sit there all day and don't say anything, it's boring, and I like to have fun. So why not have fun?
I think it's more than fun. I think he's a heck of a good player, and maybe that allows him to have fun, but he's also really respected by his peers.
And if anybody doesn't like having a couple of chirpers at the table, like Esfandiari and James, there's always earphones.
Well, exactly. And here they are again. James has gotten very quiet. Kathy Liebert will call with nothing.
Hoping to turn something large with her big blind hand.
King, queen, 6. So James now with top pair.
Esfandiari with middle pair and Liebert with a baby flush draw.
44,000.
44,000.
I could see James calling. He does, and Kathy Liebert doesn't want to go after a flush draw with only her 4.
No.
Kenna James might not know how good of a position he's in right now. He doesn't know that Esfandiari doesn't have a diamond. And the one card James doesn't want to see here on the river is a diamond card.
Well, guess what? Now it does.
Yeah, and oddly
make a hand, though.
Yeah, both of them make a straight with that jack. But 4 diamonds on board. It's pretty frightening.
It'll be very interesting here. See how this is played out.
Well,
you like that river, huh? Boom, no problem. Whee! Call the flop, check the turn.
All those extra chips, Kenna James.
I gotta give you credit.
That tends to give you a lot of courage. Esfandiari seems to be convinced that made Kenna James's flush.
He's saying, what a waste.
How much is it?
85,000 to Esfandiari.
That was a very clever bet by Kenna James. He bet at the time about half the pot. Looks like a value bet. And that is valuable. When he was only supposed to get half the pot and ends up getting all of it, that is a great move by Kenna James.
Showed his cards also to Esfandiari. So 2 good players going heads up 2 times in a row. Ain't that what it's all about? Welcome back to the Crown Casino here in Melbourne. These are the PartyPoker.net Aussie Millions, brought to you by PartyPoker.net, the world's largest poker school. Take a look at where we stand at the main table that we've been watching tonight. It's been very competitive, but Kenna James continues to rule the roost. 1.292. Nenad Medic at 835,000. Robert Neary hanging in as he always has. Kathy Liebert still short stacked. Neary taking a long look at a 7-3 and then tossing it.
What is it? I'm sure it's in.
That's where they
I'm guessing it's in Italy.
I just said Florence, Italy. Knucklehead, who's drinking?
Listen, don't call me knucklehead. Okay, it's not very nice.
That's where they have the statue of David.
You got that right.
At the Accademia.
You've been there? That's nice.
And if you can't get over there, Caesar's Palace.
Exactly, one of the 2 places. And I've seen people at Caesar's Palace actually think that that is the real David.
Oh, as long as they don't think that's the real Eiffel Tower on the corner of Flamingo and the Strip.
Or the real New York, right? Now Medic for the Queen Jack suited. Should be an interesting hand here. Liebert will not get involved in it. on the flop. 3 players. Ace 6-4 on the flop.
All 3 of these players hate to see that ace on the flop because they can reasonably expect one of the other 2 guys has an ace, given the action pre-flop.
And thus, check, check, check. And a queen gives Medic the high pair.
I think Medic just wants to try to check this hand down and hope that his queen is good. I'm wondering if Kenneth James is going to let him see the river for free. Now, we know that Medic has the best hand, but James senses some weakness. Nobody bet the flop. Nobody bet the turn.
And a pretty quick call from Medic on 55,000. That will get Esfandiari out of the way, and there's a third 3 for James.
Goodness. I was just about to say I think Kenneth James is probably done betting this hand, but now
Not
he's
now.
made a big hand.
He bets the size of the pot, which is 200,000. Really putting the pressure on Medic. That's what you can do when you're the chip leader.
That 3 is a heart as well. Medic might suspect that his opponent made a flush.
Will you show me or not? He talks to everyone else, but not me.
Well, Medic getting the cold shoulder, as it were, from Kenneth James. As if to say, I can work you, but you can't work me. And James has been very quiet for the last hour or so.
He's very busy doing housekeeping with all his chips.
That's true.
Ooh, Medic wanted to pull the trigger, and he folds.
Well,
and he saves himself 200,000 there.
Yes, he did. And I think he actually read Kenneth James' hand pretty well that time. Nonetheless, Kenneth James takes down what is still a sizable pot, even though a lot of it was his. Bonus coverage now as we go to one of the outside tables where Bernard Bay is all in against Shannon Shore. We've seen Shore on a few occasions. He lost the last time we saw him.
This time he's got Bay dominated. The queen kicker is going to play as long as there's not 3 big cards.
And there isn't. And an 8.
Bay is down to a jack. He's going to need one of the 3 remaining jacks in the deck.
Doesn't get it. So this one was no contest, as Shore will eliminate Bernard Bay, who will finish in 15th place and cash a check for just over 25,000. So Shannon Shore continues to dodge a whole lot of bullets, and he's got a pretty good size stack in front of him. Welcome back to PartyPoker.net Aussie Millions. We are here at the Crown Casino in Melbourne, and Michael and you and I were here in January of '06, had a chance to do a little shopping, get around the city of Melbourne a little bit. It's nestled on the banks of the Yarra River, the Crown Towers, and it sits in one of the most beautiful and sun-drenched parts of Melbourne, the jewel of Australia's south, with one of the world's friendliest public transport